Hey guys, episode 25.
And Arch 9234.
With episode 117, we review today we have the Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, the Transdagger, aka the Machine Blades from Seiju Sentai Gingamon. So now we have the Transdagger. This is the default mode. You guys
a lot of people don't count this as a default mode, but it really is. It's technically the unofficial 6th mode for the Transdagger.
This mode is when they took them and it's a Zords transform on, or also when they put it in the Zord cockpit.
Yeah, where they control everything.
Yeah. And it's a pretty okay, it's pretty small, it looks pretty decent. The decals on the stickers are really nice, so that's still a good part about it. But unfortunately, the sad part is that this thing
only comes in red.
And it's really kind of annoying to see that.
There's no option to give you blue, green, pink, yellow, none at all.
I was hoping that they would, but it's not even like a sticker panel where you can slide it out and slide it in.
In either US or Japanese, there's no option for the other colors.
Here's Leo's mode, Magnalode mode. Mainly much is, you can think of it like a little small sword, really much. The handle is pretty small and it doesn't, right now you can see there's space in my hand right now, so it's pretty small. All the Rangers can use their corresponding weapons, but most of the time they use this because it was the easiest mode that they took out from their pocket, and it's like, okay, we'll use it like this now.
They ran a specific mode, so they didn't want it, but they technically can use the other modes if they chose to.
The big issue about both the Japanese and American is that this thing is stiff as heck. So like when you try to film other modes,
it's really hard to like unlock things.
You have to unlock. There are two little clips that you have to press them together to make them move, and then you have to press the other two on the other side to have them. So they really are really stiff, and you can see they're not really that, you know. So now we have Kai's version of the Transdagger, the Cosmic Claw. No, it's mainly much just think of it as claws.
It's very similar to the Super Geki Claw.
It is, and what you mainly do is just you hold it and you know kind of slash people with it. Now this is actually a nice little size. It fits your whole hand, and even though the blade should be a bit longer and a bit more sharper, but it's still decent to see. And it actually looks like Wolverine's claws from one angle. Because remember, he has claws coming from his arm, so you can actually...
It kind of looks very similar to it.
It does, but it's just hollow on the inside, that's about it. So now we have Damon's mode of the Transdagger, the Transblaster. Namely much, this is just a gun, and you can...
It kind of looks like a bow and arrow.
It's like a bow and arrow gun, but it's actually not.
And it's the only mode that actually uses the blasters in the front.
So you could just go like this and he fires.
You shoot out his laser moves.
It's okay, but like I said, now
the handle is now
really
way too small.
Now we have Maya's Transdagger weapon, the Delta Daggers. Now these are mainly much daggers now.
Now they're very, very similar to people from MMPR with Trini's
power daggers. Now the only difference is that now they're shorter and they're all split up. Like I said before, they don't have no sticker, so it's always red. And the hollow, they're not really...
Yeah, that's one of the main problems with them.
This is actually weird looking because they're short and they don't really do much. And you can actually lose pieces with this. Because you really need this main piece right here to have everything. You can't put it like this, you have to put it straight down.
Because that's how the show had it. You have to actually have that bottom piece to hook up like that. Please don't follow the instructions on clipping the Delta Daggers. The way they show it doesn't work. You need to fold it into Magnalode mode, then twist one side to release them.
We have now Kendrix's beta bow. Now this is actually a bow, but there's no string on them.
Yeah, unfortunately the thing doesn't give you an option to give you the string for it.
Now in this mode, it's just a bow and arrow, and now she shoots out the bow and arrow stuff.
And it's also very similar to Kim's power bow.
Yeah, it really is, and also
design.
similar to other bow weapons that we've had in Sentai and PR as well. It's now the handle is okay, but there's not much you can do with it because there's no string like a real bow would, so you can't pretend you're firing something.
It does have a problem though, since one handle part's always loose, you always have this issue where it keeps flopping around, so you have to really hold the beta bow, or even the other weapons really stiff so that they don't like flop down like this.
There's not much you can do with this weapon. This is like the main complaint you would have about the Transdagger, both American and Japanese.
There's not much to it. It's like there's no sound effects, unfortunately.
I mean, if they had a little bundle where you could put sound effects, it would actually look pretty cool. Like how they're shooting or when they're slashing something, it would look nice. But sadly, there's nothing there, and it's just a little plain thing. It doesn't really do much of that. Now, alteration-wise, there is none.
Fortunate enough, what we got in Lost Galaxy set is the exact same one as the Machine Blade. We got the exact same color option. Japan had red only, we only had red. The same rubber tips for safety reasons are the exact same way, and we also got the exact same handles and paint details. Actually, everything's identical. The only difference is that the Transdagger box is much more bigger than this, and it came with that stupid special emblem bonus disc that you can hang on your belt.
The box for the Japanese version is so small compared to the American one, where it's like big and flat. Only bad part of there's a lot of drawbacks is that
it's too small.
It's too small.
Way too small.
And the gimmicks is like you have to use the whole up and down feature, and it doesn't match how the show does it when Leo just takes it and pops it out, or
someone switches it over to like the other modes. It's like so simple in the show.
It's like in the show was like 1, 2, 3, here's beta mode, 1, 2, 3, here's bow mode, and like that. It's just one of those things that is like, it's okay, but it's too hollow and there's not much playability to it. And there's no sound effects, which makes it even worse. For what it is, I know it's a kid's toy, but the fact is that even as a kid, I don't think,
too small.
Even for a kid, I bet you a kid's hand would fit maybe up to here, and then they would even get stuck with the modes because it's so finicky. Another problem is this is paint. It's not like something molded
plastic,
on.
yeah. So every time you grab it, you risk scraping off the paint.
Or when a kid's playing with it on the wall,
the
scraping it with.
It's a nice display piece.
I would recommend it only if you can get it less than 15. 20 is like the max because of the gimmicks, but other than that, you can't really do much.
Either or. If you choose to get the Japanese one because it saves space because the box is much more smaller than the US one, you can get that, or the American ones, they're identical.
If you're a fan of Lost Galaxy, then by far go for this thing. Just be warned about the finical stuff and the little downsides to it.
And the lack of features.
Other than that, it's something to have if you're a fan of Lost Galaxy being around. But yeah, that's it for a review of the Transdagger. Join us next week for the
Paramorphicon Samurai figures.
Please subscribe, and we'll see you next week.